What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I would like to welcome you all to another edition of Wayne's Perspective, where we operate in discipline, decency, integrity, and respect. And I'm coming through with another video just for you. All right, y'all. Currently, it is June 1st, 2024, 1:54 p.m. in the Richmond, Virginia area, 8:04. And before I get started with this video, I hope everyone is doing okay. Taking every day one day at a time and living life the best way you know how. Me, I'm doing okay. Had a short work day today, but overall, I'm doing just fine. And again, I'm taking every day one day at a time and living life the best way I know how. And as you all may probably know, it's 24 days until my 40th birthday. And as of right now, I still have no idea what I'm going to do to celebrate, but things are going to change in due time. Let's just say that. So I'm looking forward to that. And again, I hope everyone is doing okay. And before I get into this video, I just want to say one other thing, and that would be, as you all are traveling, not just on the weekends, but on a daily basis. And not only am I talking about traveling, for those outside of Virginia, but I really want to focus on my state of Virginia. Specifically, if you're traveling on Interstate 95 or Interstate 64 or I-85 or anything like that, please be careful, because I say all that to say that within recent times, it seemed like every time I get a notification on my phone, there's always an accident. I got a notification on my phone this morning about an accident. I can't think of the location right on top of my head, but it was an accident today. And then there was an accident yesterday on Interstate 95, and don't quote me on this, but I think they said that there were 4 casualties, and it was involving a tractor trailer along with 6 other vehicles. I don't know what's going on. One of my coworkers said that it's probably a case of new drivers being on the road. That might be the case too. But what I also think is happening is that there's like this anxious driving or anxiety driving that's going on. People are just in such a hurry and such a rush to get to that destination, and that's why we're seeing these accidents. Now there also could be another aspect. There's a lot of construction that's going on too, so that's probably playing a role. But I'm convinced at this point that there's a lot of anxious driving going on, and people are just in such a hurry to get to that destination that they're willing to do whatever it takes to get there, even if that means putting themselves and others in danger just by how they're driving. And if that's the case, and hopefully it's not, then we're going to see a lot of accidents. I hope and pray that I'm not involved in any of them or anyone that's close to me or any of you all that's listening to this. I've been in an accident myself in September 2018, one day before my son's birthday, and I do not want to experience that again for a variety of reasons. So again, y'all, just be safe out there, doing your travels, especially if you're on any part of the interstate, wherever you got to go. Your destination isn't going anywhere. You're going to get there in due time. You don't need to rush or do anything extra, to get there. So like I said, just be safe and be careful, and everything is going to be all right. So with all that being said, y'all, let's go ahead and get into the video now. As you can see by the title, I did not plan to do a Trump Effect 5th part this soon because I was going to save that for later in the year. But after the conviction, I decided to go ahead and do one. Now, what I'm going to do for this one is it's not going to be consistent solely of my thoughts. This is going to be in the form of another reaction video, and this is courtesy of the brother Harvey at the Your World channel. So again, shout out to that brother. Follow him if you haven't done so already. And considering all of the channels that I follow, the content creators that I follow, there were quite a few who I could have picked to do this reaction video on, but I went ahead and did Harvey, and he's gonna come with it in this video. So again, shout out to him for this, and fair usage for the video, fair usage. And another thing I want to throw in there is that even though he's going to touch on this in his video, when I heard the verdict yesterday regarding the Trump trial in New York and him being convicted on 34 counts, all 34 counts, mind you, I wasn't celebrating or dancing or jig or anything like that. I was a little nervous, for obvious reasons, but for the most part, I wasn't in a celebratory mood. And me personally, I don't know about the rest of you, but me personally, I don't celebrate that, because Number one is just something that I don't do because, you know, if the situation was in reverse and I was in some type of legal trouble and I was found guilty on whatever charges, I wouldn't want even the thought that somebody out there would celebrate, you know, no matter what I did, you know. But I digress. But like I said, I didn't celebrate one way or the other. My thought was, okay, hopefully this is the start of him being held accountable for everything that he's done in his past and present, to be honest with you. You know, if there's any one person on the face of this earth that deserves every single bit of accountability, it is Donald damn Trump. You know, it is him. So that's my thing about that. And secondly, you know, we as a country wouldn't be in this mess to begin with had he not ran for president to begin with. You know, now I'm not going to go and rehash the 2016 election anymore. I think all of us have talked about that enough. You know, I'm not even going to get into you know, the discussion about, you know, people not voting and all of that stuff and whether Hillary Clinton was the best candidate or not. You know, I'm not going to go into that. I just know that had this guy not ran for president and won, we wouldn't be talking about this. And I also said in a previous video, which might have been one of them Trump effect videos, that even if he didn't run for president, when you consider the magnitude of him and the presence that he had on a mainstream media scale, this stuff was going to happen anyway. It just so happened that the fact that he ran for president and won, it only put it out there more for the world to see. You know, so this was going to happen to begin with. This just didn't spring up because he became president. It only added to it. You know, and as they said, you know, when you become president, that shows who you are. And he showed his complete ass during those 4 years, just like all of his supporters. They showed their natural asses, you know. So I wanted to make that point as well. And, you know, I still maintain that the only reason why he ran for president is because he was rightfully on the receiving end of a clapback from President Obama at that White House Correspondents' Dinner. I think it was 2013 or something like that. So he deserved it. You know, you're gonna come after me talking about some I wasn't born in this country and why doesn't he show his birth certificate? Like, please, you know. So yeah, you deserve to get a clap back, you know, and it should have been stronger than that. But I digress. But then on another end, I would say had Obama not clapped back, we wouldn't be in this mess to begin with. But like I've often said, he deserved to get clapped back, you know. And if he was in the audience statement, okay, so what? You know, screw his feelings. You know, you say mad stuff about people all the time and think nobody's supposed to check you. Man, you better get out of here with that. So again, I just wanted to make those points going into this video. Like I said, it's another reaction one, the Trump Effect Part 5. If you haven't checked out the previous 4 parts, I recommend that you do so. They're up on the channel right now. So without further delay, I'm going to go ahead and get my screen shared and we're going to go ahead and get into it.
I know some of you are wondering why I didn't initially come out and speak about what happened with Donald Trump today. And I'm going to tell you why. He was just convicted. He wasn't sentenced yet. I dance a jig and get excited when I know that he has been sentenced to some jail time. Now, considering that usually white collar criminals don't really get harsh sentences, and considering that he's a former president, he may not get any jail time.
Okay, I'm stopping it early. Now, me personally, for the reasons that Harvey just mentioned, as well as the reasons that others have mentioned, I don't think he's going to serve a day in jail. You know, I mean, I'm just not saying it. You know, now whether he does serve time in jail or not, you know, it makes no difference to me. Just as long as he continues to be held accountable for his behavior, that's good enough for me, if you will. But like I said, I'm not convinced that he's ever going to serve a day in jail. I'm just not convinced of that.
At most, he might get some type of home confinement and anything, and then this might not even stop him from running for president. He can very well still run and win. But the thing that gets me is that the people who support him, the politicians who are more of a threat I mean, he's a threat. Don't get me wrong, but more of a threat because they know how the levers of power and politics work. None of them are saying that he's innocent. They said they don't like the way the justice system works. Now, this stuff sounds so familiar to me. It sounds like how next month, 30 years ago, or actually next month or next year, 30 years, I should say, people were when the O.J. Simpson verdict happened, when, you know, we was always told as Black people, still to this day, to respect the verdict. When they don't like the outcome of something, they say, oh, it's not right. And they're claiming that he's a victim.
Let me stop it right there. Harvey is right. You know, that's what you get when you're dealing with the likes of the Republican Party. When someone on their end, in this case Donald Trump, is being held accountable for their behavior and they rightfully are convicted or whatever the case may be, then you want to say it's a problem. Then you want to say it's a conspiracy. You know, the justice system ain't acting right and all this other nonsense. But then when the shoe is on the other foot, then you want to say, you know, a completely different thing. Then you want to say, you know, justice was served and all this other stuff, you know, and it boggles the mind. But then again, it's not surprising. You know, it's not surprising at all. But that's a damn good point that Harvey has made. And also, before I continue, I just want to say, if you haven't done so already, be sure to try to go back in the Harvey's archives and listen to all of the other videos that he's done on Trump, in particular, the videos that he did when the pandemic was happening. Also, the video that he did the day after or a couple of days after January 6th, 2021. Definitely go back and check those out.
This man is 77 years old. His
No
own
spring chicken.
niece said that her grandfather and taught this dude to never accept responsibility for his actions in his show. I told you guys in many commentaries way before this man ever ran for office, I said, I remember the first time I ever saw Donald Trump was on an episode of Lifestyles and Richard Famous. This was 1983, 82, 83 when this episode aired, okay? I was in grammar school, okay? And they were showing him in a helicopter flying to his building in New York. And he got out and he was talking about this. And they showed his apartment, all this gaudy gold-plated furniture I thought looked cheap looking back in the 80s. And how he was acting and talking and stuff. And I mean, this man was much younger. I mean, this guy was in his 30s at this time, okay? And with the comb over and everything. And during that time, you know, there was rumored that he was nasty and arrogant, and he didn't like certain people to live in his buildings. And people didn't start saying until maybe about, I guess, 87, 88, talking about the lawsuit that they had against him and his dad back in the 1970s, around 1972, 73. This is the lawsuit that you guys often hear me talk about, saying, hey, they were sued back when the Brady Bunch was on air, when it was still on network television, not even syndication, okay? Wasn't even reruns. It was first aired Friday night television, you know? And then a short time later, you had a woman get raped in Central Park, and they blamed 5 teenagers. And Donald Trump and the media and the police department said these kids did it. Donald Trump took ads in major newspapers and magazines calling for the death penalty, saying they should be executed. Teenagers. To this day, this man has never said, hey, I'm sorry for going there. Even though the rapist, nearly the guy who killed her, came forward and said, hey, I did it. The DNA that they collected matches. He knew details that only the rapist would know. But Trump to this day still says those guys did it. This man has gotten away from not paying people that worked on for him for years. He's gotten away with just screwing over. And anybody that worked around this man has lost out. This man had people try to sue this man to get restitution because he has some money or know people. He's able to tie people up in court where people went bankrupt trying to get money from this man. So this man went probably his entire life not having consequences. So now we're starting to see some consequences, but there are people out here that have bought into this man that he cares about the average person. He doesn't care about you.
100% correct. That man doesn't give one single solitary damn about anybody but himself. I don't know why people, specifically people that look like me and Harvey, do not get that, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit more in another video that I'm going to do shortly after I finish this one. If you're willing to fall on your sword for the likes of this guy, especially when he's not going to do the same for you in return, something is truly, truly wrong.
But I see people saying, well, I'd rather vote for Trump than Biden. I don't think I would go that far. I got my issues with Biden. And Biden, yes, he contributed to a crime bill back in the 90s. But I keep telling y'all should have been angry at Biden when he was still a senator back in the 90s. You should have been mad at him when Obama picked him as a running mate. Y'all didn't say nothing back then.
Now, the only thing that I'm going to say about this is in regards to the crime bill, I could always do a separate video on that. But the only thing that I say is that if you follow me and you're not sure what that crime bill was about from 1994, I recommend you do your own research and check it out and make your own determinations and draw your own conclusions about whether that was a positive thing for the country or a negative thing. Let's continue on.
And I've said this before. You guys, some of y'all have a delayed reaction to things that we should have been angry about years ago. But now you got people out here in the media trying to say that, oh, you got a segment of Black Americans are supporting Trump. If you are Black and you supporting this dude that's been openly hostile to us and put people in place that are basically saying they coming after us. Now, yes, we got issues with the Democratic Party, and I'm not sitting for the kick for Democrats. Do not get me wrong. But I'm looking at some of the comments, and obviously some of these are trolls. Okay? But don't go out here and dance jig yet. Because this guy can very well be like the president again. But this guy got charged on all 34 counts, and I didn't think he was going to get guilty, to be perfectly honest with you. I thought jury or he get charged on some counts, whatever. But all 34, the deceived men and women in elected office coming to his aid, all leaning to the right, and some celebrities. I'm sitting there like, wow. Because this man has been openly hateful towards people who look like you and I.
Right.
But don't go out here celebrating. Yeah, I got a laugh out of it this afternoon, but I ain't dancing the jig yet. Because, as I said, people who usually commit what they call white collar crimes, you truly never get serious jail time. And considering this man as a former president, he may not get it. Now, the things that he should be, the thing that could get him some serious jail time, the judge put a finger on the legal scale and pushed the trial back where it had to go into next year. Because they're hoping that he win and stuff goes away. But the thing is, the two trials that could have got Trump is this one with Al, what's that album, what his name is. And another reason why I'm not dancing the jig, the guy that prosecuted, that led the charge on Trump, the same dude that led the charge on Jonathan Majors. And Jonathan Majors got screwed over. He the one that should be yelling about misconduct, and he was unfairly. And yes, the legal system getting messed up. Don't get me wrong. But they didn't get him messed up. It was too much of a paper trail for this dude. And this dude
Right.
did lie to people that voted for him. And I think a lot of people who support this man know this guy's lying. They're too deep. A lot of people want to save face. And a lot of the politicians that support him are afraid of their constituency. Now, this dude has been openly racist. And people need to understand how dangerous this dude is. But the people who surround him even worse.
Right.
Now, like I said, we don't know what's going to happen in the next 5 months. Biden can very well be reelected, or this guy can be reelected into office. We don't know. Hell, a lot of us don't even know if we're going to be in next week, let alone 5 months from now. A long life is not promised to none of us. But I will say this, keep your head on a swivel. Because today, somebody got pissed off. And you got these politicians and these talking heads over at Fox, and these right-wing chatterboxes. They out here putting shit in people's head. And I'm telling you, you're going to have some idiot that's going to try something. And Trump going to go out there and incite something, because he always do. He's always playing himself like he's the victim. Let me tell you something. Somebody said something tonight, and I said this myself before years ago. I said, if dude knew how to shut his ass up and stop poking at everybody, nobody would never came looking in his direction.
And I'll say this too. One of Trump's greatest assets and one of his worst assets is his mouth. The guy can talk. I'll give him that. He can talk, even though most of what he says is L and BS, which is lies and bullshit. He can talk his ass off, but all he do is just dig his own hole, his verbal hole, if you know what I mean.
Most politicians, when they lose or they know they got dirt on them, they try to walk away and just shut up somewhere. He got arrogant. He felt that he was entitled. The man is telling you how he's going to run when he get back in the White House, what his intentions is.
And let me make a brief comment about that. When this guy says, for example, he's going to be a dictator on day one, I don't know why anyone would look at that as a joke, but then again, like I always say often on my channel, everything is a damn joke until stuff get real. But like I said, he's not joking when he's saying that. It's obvious why he's saying that, and that should scare the hell out of normal people, for anybody to say that. And had that been any other politician, their careers would be over. But with him, he get a pass, or that's just Trump being Trump. I mean, get out of here with that nonsense. And secondly, I think I might have mentioned this before, but if you have any sort of quote unquote power that a dictator has, what makes you think that this guy's going to let loose of that power? He ain't going to listen to nobody. I mean, come on, Lan, let's get serious.
Now, yeah, I'm not sitting up here saying that you got to do the lesser two evil. Right now, you have the Democratic Party.
And I'm going to stop right there. We're not in a lesser two evil situation here. Now, I'm not agreeing or disagreeing with Harvey. I just got to step in and say we're not in a period like that. We weren't in a period like that in 2020, and we damn sure not in a period like that in 2024. The choice, in my view, is obvious, and this is not a lesser of two evils here. Not in my view.
They're nervous. You got the Biden administration nervous, and they should be nervous. The Black community has a golden opportunity to push forward for certain things. But the thing is, when we got celebrities and pastors talking heads, that's gonna muck up everything. But don't be going out here dancing and gigs saying, oh, because he was convicted. Look, my thing is, until I see some put some handcuffs on this dude, till they said he got to go behind in the jail cell for a while, then just don't mean nothing to me. And I've said this multiple times. I said, until I know this dude he's doing some time for what he's done, it don't mean anything. But the thing is, people have selective outrage, and you're talking about the legal system. I'm telling you, what they're doing is they're trying to tell people if they don't get what they way, they want to destroy the legal system.
I'm gonna step in right here now. what I would say in a case like this is that, we as Americans in general, and it doesn't matter which side of the aisle you're on from a political standpoint, anybody that's coming out there and pretty much trying to discredit the justice system, we need to push back on that in full force. Democrat, Republican, Independent, it doesn't matter. We need to really push back on that, because that, I mean, to do damage to the justice system like that, I mean, that is, hell, I would say that that's un-American. Yeah, are there going to be some verdicts and things we disagree with? Of course, but the last thing that you would ever want to do is discredit your justice system, because if there's no faith in the justice system, then what else do we have to go by?
They want to say the legal system doesn't work. Now, I know as a black person, we know we get screwed by the legal system, but a lot of them get slaps on the wrist. And I think
Yep.
Trump thought that he was going to get away with it. And if you've been following the trial, his lawyers made a mistake, but a lot of people found out that he's been telling his lawyers, this is how you should do it.
He
So
always,
Trump is his own worst enemy.
yep,
His own niece have stated that how he was raised, he's a narcissist.
he is.
Ask yourself that his daughter, that the man act like he want to screw himself. Have you listened how he talk about his oldest daughter? If he can get away with it, he probably would have screwed his own daughter. And that's not me trying to be nasty or sick-minded. Listen how he talk about his daughter in different interviews. How he talks about her. And there's a video, it's a thing how she's sitting on his lap when she was a teenager. It looked very creepy. But
Yeah, let me stop right there. Now, Harvey has talked about this a lot on his channel, and I agree. He has said some real weird, creepy things regarding his daughter, daughter, bless my heart, his daughter Ivanka. I mean, it is crazy. No black man would ever be able to get away with such a thing like that. Now, I dare anybody to try to step into my comments or even Harvey's comments and say, well, you can't take those comments too seriously. He was only joking. Who jokes like that regarding their daughter? I mean, sheesh. I mean, look, look, I can't believe I'm about to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. If for whatever mind-boggling, strange, dumb, immoral reason that you may feel that way towards your own daughter, your flesh and blood, can you please keep that shit to yourself and not make that public? I mean, that's the least you can do. I mean, to have any thoughts like that is asinine to begin with, but if you're going to have some thoughts like that, keep that to your damn self. Seriously, man.
I digress. Notice his daughter and his son-in-law never showed up in any of his trials.
They don't want to be a part of it.
Notice his wife, Melania, never showed up to any of his trials.
Ditto for her.
That says a lot.
A lot.
That says a lot. And y'all need to understand, a lot of people that went out here and stood up for Trump, usually they got in trouble. They have done jail time and lost out. So before, like I said, I find it funny they got charged. But I ain't danced the jig yet. So this man has made threats to people. This man has gone after people in personal ways. He's gotten people who's in elected office to change the rules and stuff. I'm telling y'all, this man is destructive. And before he even announced he was running, I was saying this for years. And
he's politically destructive and he's politically dangerous.
People thought, oh, you don't like his opinion on Obama. No, I don't like the racism he was spewing. I mean, if he think he's a genius, let him think he's a genius. But this man's been saying hateful shit ever since I was a little kid. And I'm 48 years old, man. So I'm going all the way back to when I was in first grade when I heard this dude saying this shit. But the thing is, what messed him up when he saw a black man in that White House. That's what set Trump off.
Yep.
And what happened was, for years, he's been asking about running for office. Robin Leach, Larry King, he did many interviews. They equate wealth or perceived wealth with smarts. Now the thing is, Donald Trump he's just a trust fund baby. His father started a real estate and construction business, and his son inherited the money. His son lost all that money in bad business deals because he thought he knew more than everybody. The reason why Trump is what he is, he's a big talker. He leases his name out to people. But when you listen to him, he talks about himself in the third person. He repeats himself. He's a bully. Nobody brings up the fact that people died under his presidency. Y'all keep talking about the economy is in bad shape. Economy is not in bad shape. If you
really
don't
isn't.
make a certain amount of money and you try to make it in and you struggle to make ends meet, yeah, you can say the economy in bad shape. But the economy we wouldn't be paying all these high prices for food and stuff if we as consumers start spending money everywhere on these trends and stuff. People need to understand the economy was having issues or was in flux back during the Bush years. Remember, gas prices went up in the Bush years. Remember, maybe now those of y'all who are y'all teens and 20s, some of y'all wasn't even born. Some of y'all was in diapers back during the Bush years. I remember when gas was anywhere from 89 to 99 cents. Depending on how much money you got, you can fill your tank up with 10, 15 bucks in some cases. Okay?
And to that point, I do remember that, going back to, I think 2004, 2005-ish. That's when gas in my area, where at that point, I was in Richmond at that point, but back and forth between Petersburg, that's when gas went up to like $3.30 a gallon or something like that. And it had everybody freaking out in a way. I remember that, because, and I remember seeing it because, obviously I was a somewhat of a new driver at that point, but I remember seeing the gas prices go up in real time. Yeah, that was a real thing. I remember that, I would like to forget it, but I still remember that it was crazy, man.
We went to war in Iraq and Afghanistan, gas prices went up. Republicans was putting money, spending money here, doing this and blah, blah, blah. They privatized a lot of stuff. Housing market crashed. Everybody was flipping houses. They was giving taxes into this business. Wall Street was mucking around. We had the 2008 economic crisis. Obama and them come in. They had to save Wall Street and the car companies.
Yep.
That's when they stopped trying to legalize marijuana. As we start seeing people that used to talk shit about fast food, you start seeing grandma and grandpa working in restaurants that normally would never work there.
And that's another good point. I talk about that often too. Way back when I was coming up, I'm an 80s baby, but specifically when I was coming up in the 90s, I did not recall seeing a lot of older people in certain jobs. I didn't really start seeing that until maybe like 10, 15 years ago, maybe a little further back. But back in the 90s, you really didn't see a lot of elderly people working, at the grocery store or at Target or something like that, just to name a couple of examples. We really didn't see that a lot. And again, I think it was only when the 2000s emerged, and I want to say probably after 2008, that's when we started seeing that. And quite frankly, we still see it today. People that you can just look at them and tell, with all due respect, they look like they should be retired now, but they out there working, part-time, full-time, in between, we see it.
Then we start seeing the celebrities all over the internet. We see a rise in the popularity of the internet more than ever. Celebrity culture went into overdrive. But everybody had to have the new iPhone, and it became a thing where everybody had to be the first. Everything had to be hot, had to be the first in movies, had to go, what's the hottest movie and stuff. And these corporations stopped watching people, these algorithms. So people start when these countries say, wait a minute, people spend money on anything, any trend. They figured people had disposable income. So slowly but surely, they was raising prices on shit that shouldn't have been raised prices on. Then people said, oh, there's a backlash to having that first black president. So Trump comes in, he plays into that. The country showed his ass. They want Trump in. He gets in. As soon as he gets in, what happened? We was warned. The first year Trump was in office, we would I think it was the third year we was warned. He was the third year in office. We was warned by that doctor over in China that there was a virus going around, and nobody took it serious. It was the summer of 2018, 2019, 2018, around that time. 2018, I think it was 2019. People were warned. People were warned about 2019, I believe, when people was warned about that virus. And nobody believed it. And by the time 2020 rolled around, it was out of control. And this dude didn't even want them to ventilators. Remember, he didn't want the ventilators. He didn't want to release the strategic stuff and all that stuff. China virus stuff. All them people died. I lost family members and friends behind this. I went to so many memorials and funerals. I lost count.
And I'm sorry to hear that regarding Harvey, and anybody else who lost anyone to the COVID-19 or C-19, whatever you want to call it. So anybody who lost anyone because of that, my heart goes out to you. I'm sorry that it happened. It really shouldn't have happened, but that's a whole nother subject. But thankfully, no one close to me lost their lives because of it. Now, I do know some people that got the virus. My mom, she contracted it, I think twice, but she quarantined and stuff like that, and she turned out to be fine. But thankfully, I didn't experience a loss on my end. And again, my heart goes out to anyone who has lost anyone because of the COVID-19.
Now you got people trying to rewrite history, saying they shut down the schools. He weaponized. They're trying to take your rights until you put masks on. Remember all that shit that we went through? Now all of a sudden, this dude is a front runner. Or at least that's what they say he is. See, when they screw up, the media and people rewrite history. This dude, she'd be like, wait a minute, come on, how is this dude gonna be? I mean, we forgot all the stuff this man has done recently. I ain't talking about 20 or 30 years ago. Recently. This is why I'm seeing people bring up what Biden did. I'm like, okay, we know Biden did that crime bill in the 90s. You guys got vivid memories of that, but not what this dude did within the last few years. That's kind of baffling. And let me say this again. I am not defending Joe Biden.
Okay, so just to pause it right there. No, I don't see it as a defense of Joe Biden. And even on another scale, this is not caper for him either, So I get what Harvey is saying, but I still want to say that this has literally nothing to do with the lesser of two evils, just like it was in 2020. The choice is clear in my view. So no, this is not a defense or anything like that.
But y'all saying the economy is bad. No, you guys go out here spending your last on crap that you don't need.
The economy is not bad.
I know that the grocery shopping is hard because, when I go grocery shopping, the stuff is expensive. But you don't need to go to buy that Big Mac, that $18 meal. You don't need to go buy those expensive ass shoes or those every year flat screen TV, those video games, or go on expensive trips or go buy ribs and shit for holidays that really don't mean anything.
Now, I do get what Harvey is saying about, the miscellaneous stuff, entertainment, shoes and restaurants and stuff like that. And I just want to make a comment regarding the food thing. Now, now I buy groceries. Okay. So let's say that when I go into the growth like that, well, no, I take that back. When I do DoorDash or Instacart or something like that, I be looking at the prices, and for the most part, I am not thrilled when I see them prices. But you know what? I don't get frustrated about that stuff, because at the end of the day, we all got to eat. However, it's nothing that we can do about the prices like that. Just like during the pandemic, when people would be freaking out about the cost of milk or the cost of bread or whatever the case may be. I just shook my head at it because it's like, okay, you can complain, we always can complain, but that's not going to get us anywhere, you know. So I understand what he's saying, in this case.
But these companies know y'all creatures of habit, so they jacking up prices, and y'all blaming the presidents that get mad at these corporations who are raking over. If y'all haven't been paying attention to Wall Street, said Wall Street have been their profits going out, up, going like crazy.
That is true. And if you take a look at the reporting regarding the Dow Jones and the NASDAQ and the S&P, yeah, those numbers have skyrocketed within recent weeks, So on that end, you can't say that the economy is terrible. And also, the president has little to nothing to do with food prices. I mean, I would say that even for a Republican president too, just like they don't have much of a say in terms of gas prices. Now, they can, use their influence to try to make some changes and get the ball rolling in terms of, decreases and fair pricing across the board. But I mean, let's keep it real. The president doesn't have much of a say in terms of grocery prices or gas prices. And I think most people know that. But when you're in a society like America, as a whole, people are going to find a scapegoat, if you will, somewhere along the lines. Now me personally, I don't complain about that stuff because at the end of the day, we roll in discipline over here. Why I'm going to complain about gas? Gas could go up to $5 a gallon. I'm still going to go to work. I mean, granted, will it be a true inconvenience? Yes. Hell, having it at $3.50 a gallon, that's an inconvenience. But at the same time, we got to go to work. I'm not going to let my car sit out there and rely on Uber or Lyft. Definitely not taking the city bus, definitely not taking no cabs or taxis. And I'm definitely not asking, other people that I work with for a ride, anything like that, especially when I got a working car there that I take care of. So I just say all that to say that, yeah, we can have our grievances about high prices across the board, but at the end of the day, just complain about it or just becoming stressed about it, it's not going to get us anywhere. Now, if you're like from check to check and stuff like that, and you trying to make ends meet, I understand that. I really do. I've been there. But let's keep it real, y'all. It's little to nothing that we can do about that. We can make changes and adapt, but it's nothing to lose our stuff over, y'all.
It ain't really been a bad day in Wall Street for the last 3 years.
That's
You know
true.
how they usually talk about, Wall Street, the Dow Jones, all that stuff. So how's the economy really truly bad? It may be bad for you because you get hit with the prices, sticker prices, and all that. Going to Walmart. I remember back in the day, you used to go to Walmart. You think you get over like a fat cat. Walmart and cut all the little small business out, so you have no choice. So they jack the prices up. Amazon, same thing. Amazon and Walmart are destroyed competition.
Yeah, Amazon came in and changed the game just like Walmart did. So that's another good point.
So now there's only a few stores that you can go to. So they figured, well, you're either going to go to us or go to Walmart. So they got you coming and going. The president of the United States is going to do so much. And even when Trump was in office, I didn't even blame him necessarily for all the stuff, how the economy worked. I mean, do they have an influence of bad policies and stuff? But you have to understand a lot of times it goes back to previous administration.
Right.
When they were talking about taking these bank fees down, who was blocking the Republicans?
Right.
Like the student debt thing, I got kind of mixed feelings about that. Everybody can go to college. So you give them, but okay, fine. Remember, they was giving all that people that loan money during the pandemic out. A lot of people went out there and they was claiming it. They still going after people to this day who lied about it.
They sure are.
Get mad at those people. See, a lot of y'all got to understand how politics work and how business work. Whether it be Republican or Democrat, both sides play people against each other and they exaggerate. But right now, I'm not dancing a jig about him getting charged with 34 counts. I mean, I find it funny that he thought that he can get out of was going to get out of here clean. I didn't think I thought maybe a hung jury at most, but to find him guilty of all 34 counts, that was shocking.
The prosecution had a real good case based on what I've been reading, and hearing. The prosecution had a real good case.
I ain't gonna lie, I laughed my ass off. I was laughing my ass off when I'm like, what? But the thing is, he deserved it because so many years, so many lives this man have touched that he didn't messed up. Remember, this man, him and Juliana went live. Those two black women messed their lives up. Now, them sisters may never get any money out of this.
Exactly. I talked about that.
Was. I did a commentary a couple of weeks ago when Juliana was waxing nostalgic about the racism and why SNL can't be more racist.
Check out that video, y'all. It's a good one.
These are the things these people did. And these men are baby boomers. This is why I told you that this racism is not going away. These are the men that, if you go back and look at them old clips of the 1950s and 60s and stuff, in the 1970s, these are those men in the 80s. We know that they movie Wall Street, Michael Douglas, Greed is Good. That's Trump in the period. Now these guys in these 70s and 80s now. These dudes want to hold on to power, and they older men now. They want their children to keep that going. They say, hey, I'm going to keep this going so my children and their children and their children's children can keep this going. Because they know their time is up when it comes out of that power. But see, they go get other groups of people say, hey, you honorary white, you come out here and you join in. This is why the Democrats are so anxious to get black folk on board, because they know the Latino community, the Asian community, the Arab community, the Indian community. They know those people. They pandered to them, and now look at them. Look at how they acting. So now you got to come back to the very community that you ignored for a number of years, and apathy has set in with our people.
And that's why I be saying in previous videos that, not just the Democrats, but the Republicans and everybody else, everybody should be doing more. Now, again, with the Democrats being so closely associated to Black Americans, yes, on that end, the Democrats should be doing more. And as a future politician, I agree with that, and hopefully once I get my time in the political spotlight, I'll be able to, make some changes, or at least, do a damn good job, getting us there, but overall, everybody should be doing more. Everybody.
But I always say local elections matter more than anything. Now, some of y'all say, hey, I'm going to sit on the couch.
Yes, I'm glad that he mentioned that. Okay. That right there, I take so many issues with that voting for the couch or voting to stay on the couch narrative, and I'm probably going to talk about that in the next video that I do. But okay, the one thing that I do get is that this is, if this is your way of saying that you're not going to vote, okay, cool, whatever. But at the same time, tell me and tell Harvey and everybody else who, understands the importance of voting. Now Harvey may have his issues with voting at times, but I think overall that brother knows the importance of voting, and especially with his military background, I know he gets the importance of it. But on my end, it's like, okay, I understand the importance of voting. I've been voting in every election since 2008, so my thing is that how is voting for the couch or voting to stay on the couch going to help you? Are you going to go into a ballot box and write couch on the ballot? Are you going to do that? I guarantee you won't, is the couch going to have any effect on any type of policy? You know, what is that couch going to do for you? You know, is the couch going to have any type of say in healthcare, voting rights, transportation, how to handle a pandemic, you know, things like that? You know, is anybody thinking of this before they loudly come out and say they're going to vote for the couch? And why would you even say such a thing? It makes no sense to me. You know, don't get me started, y'all.
You was that's for you. But I say this though. We talking about we want to get certain things done for our people, but you gotta be a part. You gotta go out and be vocal. You gotta demand shit.
That's true.
Now, like I said, I'm not telling y'all to go vote for nobody. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is get off your butt, control your dollar. I keep saying that, control your dollar, know your history.
Right.
You have to understand how this country works.
True.
But don't get caught up in this Trump. He's guilty because let me tell you something. Jason Van Dyke shot Laquan McDonald, and black folks in Chicago cheered. And I told him, I said, don't cheer yet till they sentence. And when the jury came back and said recommend this sentence, the judge said no, nope. They gave him a stop on his dude wasn't even in jail 2 years. They gave him a 3-year sentence, but he wasn't even in jail 2 years. And nobody in Chicago talks about Laquan McDonald anymore.
And that was a travesty of justice across the board, man.
Sort of like been there, done that. I mean, look, I mean, the legal system, when they feel that they screwed, they say, hey, we're being persecuted and stuff. This man is 77 years old, ain't never had any consequences from his action. Now he's acting like he's the victim.
Right.
And then you got other Republicans talking about the judicial, the legal system. You know how dangerous this is? Now you're attacking them. Now, anytime they get in trouble, get caught with their hands in the cookie jar. Now they're gonna say, hey, it was rigged. It wasn't rigged. He got a jury of his peers. They picked the jury. People need to understand when you got this type of trial, you got the prosecution, you got the defense lawyers, and they go through a stringent jury selection. And they got the jury of his peers, and Trump could have testified. Trump lawyers thought they were slick.
He won't gonna get up there. I mean, I wasn't convinced at any point that he was going to testify in that trial, and he's not going to testify in any other trials when they come up. You know, but no, that guy's not going to get on the stand. And I think most of us know that.
And it was too much of a paper trail. He thought that he was scouring and he was going to win. No. I just find it funny how people in this country see what this guy is about. I mean, like I said, I'm not defending other politicians, but this man had openly said things that it just frightened people.
Right.
This man has embraced a level of hatred in this country. This man, I mean, he's a narcissist. He's his own niece, who's a psychiatrist. She said that her family, her father, her aunt, and her uncle was raised by her grandfather.
The N in Donald stands for narcissist. Remember that.
Trump, all the years, Trump never thought about getting in office till he saw Barack Obama. That triggered him. That triggered him.
Right.
And let me say this again. If you're a black person, you standing next to Trump that hard, when he has said a lot of hateful things about black folks over the years, whether you're a celebrity or not, you need your head examined. But don't run out here dancing the jig talking about he got convicted. Yeah, he got convicted, but I want to know what kind of sentence he's going to get. Because if this is any other person, they would say, "Oh, yeah, he's going to spend the rest of his life in jail." This dude might get a suspended sentence. They might give him a slap on the wrist, or they might get a 6 months to a year confinement, or nothing may never happen to him. And then when they go on sentence, I think on July 11, I think they said, if I'm not mistaken, they can say, "Okay, this is how we recommend he get this sentence." he can appeal it. And the appeal, he can go all the way to next year, they got to next February to appeal. And by then he might be back in office or not. So like I said, folks, don't get too excited. But at the same time, I'm not running against no jig. But I say this: if you do vote, think about your local elections, your state elections and stuff. Yes, national elections are important, but I'm telling you right now, when I hear people say, "Yeah, the economy is bad," under Biden, I'm like, really? Have y'all been really paying attention to the economy the last 20 years?
Nope.
Seriously.
Nope. Because if they was paying attention, they wouldn't make no claims like that saying that the economy is bad. It's
Have y'all
not
really
bad.
been paying attention?
Nope.
Right now, a lot of these prices going up is corporate greed. McDonald's, even when you start coming out, they going to get you for a value meal because the customers. Because I don't know if y'all noticed something, but I can speak to what's going on in the Chicagoland area. A lot of the KFC stores are closing.
Oh, and that's interesting, because in my area, let me see, there's one close to where I work at. I think that one is still open. And I think that's it. I think that may be the only one that I know of. And it might be another one off of the West Broad Street area, and if you're in the 804 Richmond area, you know what I'm talking about. So he has a good point there. You're not seeing too many KFCs. And on another note, I've seen a lot of Burger Kings close within recent years as well. Usually these days, you see more McDonald's, you see more Wendy's, you see more Chick-fil-A's and stuff like that.
Now, a lot of people don't know that KFC, Taco Bell, Pizza Hut is under the Yum brands.
Right.
I mean, they under the same company.
Yeah.
A lot of the KFCs are being converted to Taco Bell. I've seen at least 5 KFCs close up in the area.
And Taco Bell is still pretty much going strong in my area. Pizza Hut is still pretty much going strong in my area too, along with Domino's, Little Caesar, Papa John's, and all that, all those places.
I've seen some White Castles close up. I've seen a couple of McDonald's close up because a lot of people ain't gonna want to spend that kind of money. I'm seeing for sale signs on people's homes. Yeah, I'm seeing these things go on because people can't afford. Well, I guess you say people can't afford it, but is the economy truly that bad? No, it's just that people don't have the money to go spend money on things that are overpriced.
Right.
Trust me, the economy. Excuse me. If it was in dire straight, you see corporations cutting prices on things. They're going up on stuff. They figure you got disposable income. Because remember, when it looked like everybody was getting raises or like they was going to get jobs, they had some disposable income in their pockets. That's when all the companies said, "Oh, we're going to cut back on this. We're going to close this down. We're going to raise this up." Remember when 2020 started? Like people had extra money in their pockets, and that's why these companies started raising their prices on shit. There's number corporate greed. This is why I keep saying when they get close to India, I said, y'all don't spend any money on Halloween crap or the Thanksgiving crap. Those are just holidays. Those are manufactured days. You can make turkey anytime.
And more so today than it was ever in the past. Halloween and Thanksgiving and even Christmas at this point, they're just another day as far as I'm concerned. Back when we was coming up, and I'm pretty sure all of my fellow 80s babies can testify to this. Back in the 90s, y'all, Halloween was an event, Christmas was an event, Thanksgiving was an event, and they didn't go by fast like they do now. They weren't treated like they are now, with the Black Friday thing and all these other sales. We didn't see that way back in the day, and they were treated as bigger deals back in the day than they are now.
You can go buy bags candy anytime. You can get somebody a gift anytime. Spend your money wisely. I want to go see my grandmama. I know you want to hug your grandmama, your grandpa. Okay, fine. But they got a cell phone now or desktop, whatever. They got access to a web camera. Or you wait till a time of the year where it's not so expensive to go see them. Instead of driving, you take that Amtrak. If that's not your speed, you wait. Instead of going buying those expensive ass games, you tell your kid, look, you get 1 game or 2 games this year. Christmas, you know what? Just chalk it up to get you some clothes.
Man, look, let me tell you something. I've long been checked out of video games. The last time I was really keeping track of that, y'all, and I kid you not, was when the very first PlayStation came out. So we talking 1997, 1998-ish. Well, I think 1997 was when it first came out. Correct me on that if you want to. But I got my first PlayStation in Christmas of 1998. And a funny story about that was I remember I was taking it out the box and unfortunately I had dropped it. It didn't hit the floor hard, but it still hit the floor. And those things were sensitive, so my mom had to, I guess, take it back and replace it and get a new one, but that was the last time I was like really into games like that. And since then, I've long been checked out. I have cousins who still pay attention to that and, try to get me to come in, but, I'm not interested. Even my son, he's into the video games like that. He has an Xbox 360, I think. And truth be told, considering his busy schedule and all of the things that he's been looking to do since he graduated, I don't think my son has any time for video games anymore, but yeah, outside that, yeah, I've long been checked out of video games. And the only other time I like really seriously played was a few years back when I was in my quote unquote second childhood. I went ahead and purchased a Super Nintendo and I was right back into the mid 90s again. But after a while, I ended up selling it and I went from there, and I'm pushing 40. So I don't think I'm going to have a third childhood. I mean, I just wanted to share that.
I want some new gym shoes. Okay. You go to the outlet, get you a pair of shoes. That's practical. You don't need no real expensive ass gym shoe. When you go in the supermarket, instead of going getting the name brand cereal that they keep in the same box, you open the box, the inside of the box, they cut the product down. Go get you the same company, but the no brand shit is a lot cheaper. See, there's a lot of things that we do as consumers that give these companies the okay to keep doing what they're doing.
Yep.
We get mad and we say, politicians, what's going on with the prices? Like the gas. When people ain't driving, gas prices go down. When people start driving, they say, oh, we can raise the prices up. Gas prices are down a couple of months ago. Now, where I'm at, for something.
Yeah, that's a true statement. Even over here in Richmond, Virginia, they were down. I don't quote me on this, but I think the lowest I remember seeing one time, it was in like the 280, like 270, 280 range at one point, just a few months back. And then they shot up again. Currently, as I speak, they're in like the $3.50 range, and quite frankly, it might stay there. I won't be surprised if it stays there for the remainder of the year. Now if it does, let's just hope that it goes down. Don't go up. Please don't go anywhere near $4. Please don't.
I'm like, that's too much. I'm like, I ain't got to go nowhere that bad. Live within your means, folks. Because you got these politicians that arguing and shit. These politicians had any common sense, whether it be Republican or Democrat, they be calling out these corporations saying, yo, you're screwing over the consumers.
Right.
These companies, I'm telling you how many of y'all really pay attention to the stock market. These companies are making mega bucks.
Oh yeah, they really are.
And then he's turn around and tell, we're gonna put a factory in your city, but we want a tax break. And you got people mega rich, ain't paying half the taxes that you and I are paying. But you got politicians like Trump, and the reason why these rich folks want Trump in, because he promised them, I give you, make sure I look after you, give you tax breaks. These motherfuckers are rich already. How many more tax breaks do they need?
Exactly.
So, like I said, this dude is dangerous. But you know, like I said, y'all, y'all gonna assume I'm defending Biden. That's not what I'm doing.
Yeah, there's no
because notice, because I said vote local, but I said you guys do your research before y'all start crime poverty. Yes, there are people out here who are struggling. They've always been struggling. And there are jobs out here hard, but you got a group of people out here that don't want to work. They want to nitpick what kind of jobs they work. I'm not doing that. No, that's beneath me. Some people rather go out and steal or lay off on the government tip. And I'm telling you, these politicians are changing the rules for y'all. I'm telling you.
And then, and to that point, as he prepares to close this video, it makes no sense and is really irresponsible to refuse to work, be selective when it comes to what type of job you want, and then resort to stealing. And then when you get caught and held accountable for stealing, then you want to say, I did what I had to do to survive. No, that line doesn't work no more. It's way too many opportunities out here for people to resort to stealing, you know. And I remember a time when being labeled a thief was one of the worst things that you could ever be labeled as. Nobody wanted to be associated with being a thief. But now it seems like there's this hidden culture where that sort of thing is celebrated and encouraged, and it makes no sense to me.
Y'all better, like I said, y'all, I don't know if y'all watch C-SPAN or whatever, but I'm telling you right now, a lot of y'all gonna get cut off off the government tip.
Yep. Pay attention and wake up.
Trump and his crew, they got a plan for us. I'm telling you, Black Americans, we're gonna be the first one to feel it. So we always want the first ones to get everybody scorn and hatred. But I'm warning y'all, don't be out here be dancing and saying, oh, he get charged, man. It ain't nothing overweight yet. This dude, they might just slap him on the wrist. Because let me tell you something, a lot of dudes that commit white collar crimes and nothing happens to them.
True. All right. Again, major shout out to Brother Harvey for that video. Like I said, he does good work. And again, if you haven't followed him, be sure to do so. And like I said, try to check out some of the videos that he's done regarding Donald Trump. In particular, like I said, one of his videos when he talked about what was happening during the pandemic, that had to have been in 2020. And definitely check out the video that he did, I want to say the day after or a couple of days after what took place on January 6, 2021. Definitely check those out. I didn't really have any additional thoughts here. Chances are I am going to do a Trump Effect Part 6. So stay tuned for that. There's no specific date or whatever, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to do one. But, I pretty much said everything that I had to say. Harvey said everything that he had to say. So, I'm going to go ahead and close this one out. So if you like what you heard and you're ready to become part of Team Discipline, go ahead and hit that like button and drop some comments if you're feeling the content. And last but not least, hit that subscribe button along with the bell so you're notified when I drop new videos. And until next time, my people, take care of yourselves and remember the power of the mind is value.